Test, test. Can you hear me okay? All right. So apparently this microphone does not work, so we're going to have the handheld today. Thanks everybody for coming to Town Hall. I'm Betsy Bale, Executive Director, and this month I'm going to invite Jay up to the podium, and Jay is going to introduce the representatives from United Way. So please welcome Jay and guests.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jay Parsons. I live up in the Garden Homes. You can't hear me. Okay, there we go. I'm Jay Parsons. I live in the Garden Homes, and I'm happy to be here to be in front of you. Normally, at this time of the year, when the leaves are beginning to turn, we have Kit Huff up here to talk to you about what we do in terms of giving back to our community. And the purpose of the meeting, the short talk this afternoon, is to introduce or reintroduce you to the United Way, which is something that has been supported by the residents of Friendship Village for many years, and is an easy and a way to give back to the community. It's totally voluntary, it's totally confidential, no one's going to know who's doing what for whom. At any rate, I'd like to introduce Chris Sargent, who is the CEO of the South Central United Way. And Chris will tell you some of the fantastic work that they do, and they do an awful lot of work in this community. Chris?
Great, thank you, Jay, and good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to come and say a few words. Typically, I have a dance routine, but they said the stage wasn't available, so you'll just have to trust me on that one. But let me, sorry, looks like I'm pushing buttons. Let me say a couple of quick thank yous, if I can. So Jay introduced me. Kit has been great help and support over the years. We appreciate Kay Haas and Marty King for their help and support. And I also want to just take a moment to recognize that Faye Woolrich has always been such a great support as well. So just in her memory, if we can do a round of applause for the committee and for Faye for all her service. Thank you. I'll try not to hit any more buttons. So as Jay mentioned, I'm here with my colleague Mark Crail. You may have been able to meet us in the past. Together, Mark and I have been working in Kalamazoo in this community for United Way for over 30 years. So we have a fair amount of experience helping the community. Maybe just by a quick show of hands, when I say United Way, how many people are familiar with United Way in the community? Okay, wow. It's like the chorus, right? You all here appreciate that. Jay mentioned we have a slightly new name, United Way of South Central Michigan. So for the last 10 years, we've served Kalamazoo and Battle Creek. We now also serve Jackson and Lansing. And for those of you that say, wow, that's a big region, yep, I get to drive that every week. So you're right, it's a big region. But here's what I want you to especially know is the dollars that we raise here in Kalamazoo, that you donate to us if you choose to this fall, will stay right here. They'll get invested just in Kalamazoo. If you want them to go further than that, they can, but every dollar that we raise in the local communities that we serve will stay right in the local communities, as many of our donors would expect and want. On your chairs when you came in, you might have seen this one-page information about United Way, and I'd encourage you when you get a moment to take a look at that and see if that's something that resonates with you. As you all know, we are a community fundraiser. So every year about this time, we come out into communities and organizations and individuals like yourself, talk about the work that we do to really support basic needs, making sure that people have, food and clothing and housing. making sure that kids get a good education or reading proficiently by the end of 3rd grade is a key focus for us. Making sure that people have access to health care, and especially focused on reducing and eliminating issues around maternal health, and then we also help people get good paying jobs and make sure that they get good job training. So those are kind of the 4 key focus, if you will, of United Way. We actually in Kalamazoo will raise over $4 million this year from individuals just like us in the room. About 10,000 folks will contribute to United Way, and then we'll turn around and give that to local nonprofits. So we'll give it to organizations like the Food Bank and Salvation Army and Red Cross and Boys and Girls Club and Big Brothers Big Sisters, a lot of organizations that you're probably familiar with. And it allows them to do the great work that they do because we're out raising money on their behalf. We're making sure that they've got the funds to support the programs so that kids get good mentoring, so that seniors get meals delivered at home if they're not able to get out and about. Those kind of critical programs that we care about in the community. And the one thing that I would just highlight, in addition to the dollars that we talk about and the support that we create, is there's a number towards the bottom of that page in the center that's 299,427. And that's the number of people that we helped last year. We're going to do a little better because if we're that close to 300,000, we might get a little over that this year. But that's an important number because everything that I'll tell you about the great dollars that we raise, about all the nonprofit partners that we fund, and here in Kalamazoo in this region, it's over 65 nonprofits that we invest in annually. That matters, but at the end of the day, it's the children and families that we help that matter the most. It's that 299,000 number. And I want to leave you with a little story as I wrap up here. And it's a story about Jacob. Jacob was a local middle school student that pre-pandemic, that time before now, that we've looked to get back to as soon as we can. And he was a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters mentoring program. So I was his big brother. He was a middle school student here in one of the local schools in our area. And Jacob and I would meet a couple of times a week, as other students did with other bigs like me, at our office at United Way. And he got pretty good at, every time we'd meet, he'd say, okay, I know you're going to ask me about my grades, here's how I'm doing. I know you're going to ask me about, am I staying out of trouble, here's how I'm doing. And I said, you're right, Jacob, I want to know all that. And I also want to know, like, what do you care about? What are you interested in? What do you want to be when you grow up? Because when we first met, he didn't have an idea about that. Couldn't even think about that. And about a year and a half into our mentoring, working together, he at one point missed a couple of our sessions, which was very unlike him. He was pretty regularly attending school. And he finally came back a couple of sessions after that, and I said, where you been? And he said, well, I haven't been feeling well. And he said, so my mom finally took me to the doctor. And I said, well, what'd you find out? And he said, well, he used a big word that I had actually never heard of. I said, well, what was that? He said, the doctor said I was malnourished. I said, malnourished? He said, yeah, apparently I haven't been eating well. And I thought to myself, I've been working in this community for a number of years. I've always been connected and part of United Way. I believe in and passionate about the mission of what we do. And here it is, I've been working with Jacob for a year and a half, and he's living in a household where he doesn't have enough food. I appreciate that we got lunch provided today. Jay and Kit were very generous in inviting Mark and I to that. And it struck me in that moment that every time he went to take something of a snack before we started, like his other classmates, that they were grabbing more than we suggested they should. We'd say, limit it to 2, and they were stuffing their pockets. And when we'd ask them, they'd say, well, this is for later. This is for my brother. This is for my sister. And that just continues to drive us every day at United Way. No kid should be hungry in this community. It's our responsibility to do something about it. And so that's what United Way does. That's what we care about. We care about kids like Jacob. We care about the 300,000 children and families in our community that could use a little help. So I just appreciate the opportunity to come out and say a few words to you. You all are very generous as a community and as individuals in supporting our organization and all of the nonprofits, because I know you support more throughout this community. And I'd invite you to consider being a part of this year's campaign here at Friendship Village. So thank you for the time. Thank you, Betsy, to you and your team for allowing us the opportunity. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Jay.
Thank you, Chris. Just a few words on the mechanics of what's coming up. October 11th, you will receive, on or about October 11th, you'll receive an envelope with a pledge card. And you are invited to make whatever contribution you care to make. Many people don't make a contribution, they give in other ways to other organizations. So this is entirely voluntary. And when you fill out your card, it will come back to us and it will be sealed, and we will give it over to the United Way people, and they will handle all the administration of this. No one here is going to know anything about what you've done or what you haven't done. Completely voluntary. I'd also like to say that this effort has been organized by our community. We get the blessing of Betsy and the Friendship Village administration, but they're not doing this. We're doing this. This has been organized by Faye and by Kit and what have you. So it's your opportunity to make a contribution to a wonderful community. If you want, we encourage you to make a contribution, however, and we'll be back in touch with you come October. You'll receive an envelope with your name on it, and we hope to hear from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in again. It's really nice to be able to have you in person again, to come back and explain it. It's been a long couple of years where we haven't had anybody come in and be speakers, so we appreciate that. So thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to start out today's meeting just giving a couple of updates on our occupancy. Our independent living is currently 95%, and we are 99% sold. Assisted living continues to climb. We're 82% and 84% sold. So really liking to see that number increase. Our health and rehab centers, currently in the health center, we're 67% and 75% in rehab. Our August resident numbers, we have 383 total residents on campus, 279 in independent living, that's 173 apartments, 50 garden homes, and 56 second persons. We had 69 in assisted living and 35 in the health center and rehab. And our employee full-time equivalents, or FTEs as we call them, is 226 to a budget of 237. So we have made some strides in terms of hiring folks, which is really nice. We are currently at, we still have 20 positions open, but that's down from 26 last month. And again, these are our full-time equivalents versus persons. One of the things that we're going to try that's a little bit different in recruiting, and this is kind of new to our industry, is doing some advertising. If you typically are, bless you, if you're typically on social media at all or on the computer, once in a while you might see some ads pop up. They're kind of, I think they're called a one-click or something like that, that the ad will actually pop up. And we've done one for Friendship Village for our staff. And so we've done it in the past for occupancy in advertising for Friendship Village and who we are. But this is a different way for us to do this for employees. And really it's to go out to people that, not the actively looking, but the passively looking. So somebody who might just be, scrolling through some things and it pops up and people think to themselves, maybe I might want to get a part-time job at Friendship Village. So this kind of the audience that we're looking at, and it's iHeartMedia is the name of the company that we're working with. And they recently did this with all of the prisons and jails. They had a huge need for filling positions in prisons because nobody wanted to work in prisons or hadn't thought about working in prisons. And so iHeartMedia did this campaign, and it was just phenomenal, the number of applicants that they got based on that type of advertising. So we're really excited. It's going to be rolling out this week. We're really excited to see how it works. It actually costs about the same as doing like one job fair through Facebook. And this is something that we're going to continue to use. And we actually also get the numbers that it provides to say how many people actually clicked on it. And so to just kind of see if our dollars are being spent wisely in the bang for the buck. So we'll keep you posted on how all that's coming, but it's kind of interesting stuff that we're doing. As far as COVID goes, the current positivity rate, and I think it just came out again, but last week it was 31.7%, and that was up from 30 the previous month. It really is a contagious variant, and so we really encourage people to wear your masks, social distance. You just never know when you're going to get it. We have several folks in admin that had it over this past week, and it certainly is not very fun. I'm sure you can kind of hear it in my voice a little bit that I am kind of recovering from it, but really is a very, very contagious variant. So we do encourage, once your guests come in, they should be all wearing a mask, and we encourage them to keep their mask on while they're visiting, because they may not know that they might be carrying it, and they may transmit that over to you. So please encourage them to wear their masks while they're here on campus visiting. We are working on getting a clinic set up for the variant booster. The pharmacy is working with Michaela and Mary, trying to see what dates that we could possibly get that set up for our residents. But in the meantime, feel free to get that booster shot. The pharmacies are giving them now. I know we've been getting copies from people that have been getting theirs, and that is one thing, that if you choose to get your own and you don't get it through our clinic, we do ask that you give us a copy at the front desk, or we'll copy it for you so that we have all of that on record. We will be providing the clinic. It's just a matter of time, and as soon as we get that date, we will get everything set up and sent out to everybody so that you can get that on your calendars. We also have the flu clinic is scheduled for October 27th. Unfortunately, that's a little bit late, so if you want to get your flu clinic or your flu shot sooner than that, we encourage you to do so as well. But as soon as we get closer to that flu clinic date of October 27th, we will get more information out to you as well. Any questions on any of that before I move forward? Rose?
A point I'd like to make is that it's not just getting the COVID, it's the long COVID. I've been keeping track of sort of the records on that. And people who are getting very mild cases of COVID are getting the long COVID as well. My sister hasn't been able to taste food for a year from getting COVID last year. And that'd be a minimal thing compared to some of the other things. So it's very important to wear the mask so long.
Yeah.
You mentioned hand washing. washing.
Yeah,
It's the
and,
whole strategy. The hand washing, make sure you're hand washing. You can wear a mask, touch something, and then you can put your hand to your face. You know, so hand washing is one of the best things you can do to keep that away from you, along with wearing your mask.
yeah, it is a very, it is, and everybody, it hits everybody differently, you know? Mine lasted at least a couple of weeks. I lost my voice, I lost my taste, I lost my smell. I have a little bit of the taste and smell back, or it's just me remembering what it tastes like. And I'm trying to visualize what it tastes like. So that's kind of difficult, but, and others, you know, they get it, they don't even know they have it. They're asymptomatic, or they get it very mildly. I was pretty sick with mine. My husband got it very mildly. He was just really tired and, you know, like a little bit of a head cold, but that was about it. But yeah, I was pretty sick with it, and there's others that have done well. But yeah, it is. They are saying that the symptoms last longer with this particular variant. So, highly recommend everybody wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance as much as possible, because you never know, you know, who's sitting next to you, and if they're carrying it, you certainly don't want to get it. A couple other updates. This past week in San Antonio, Texas, we had 600 attendees that were comprised of sales employees, community leaders, LCS resource teams, and LCS executives gathered together for the 2022 LCS Sales Fiesta Conference. It was really a wonderful opportunity to network, attend education sessions, and be recognized with LCS awards. And I'm really pleased to announce, and I'll have Diana stand up, that Friendship Village was recognized and received an award for achieving 95% occupancy for independent living. So please congratulate Diana and her team. This is a really big accomplishment, especially post COVID pandemic. And one of the things that you know, we talked about, and I know was presented at the time, and Joel Nelson, who's the president and CEO of LCS, is that really our communities are kind of leading the pack in that rebounding back from COVID. So, you know, we've got some really good systems in place and different things that are working, but LCS is definitely leading the pack and coming back from that COVID, the hard part of the COVID pandemic. Let's see, a couple other items. We do have a date to where we are going to start the resurfacing of the road that goes around Friendship Village, as well as some of the dips that are around some of the, they're kind of like a drainage area. The concrete has to be fixed in those areas. That's going to start the week of September 26th, and the repaving of the road will begin the week of October 3rd. So look for more communication to come out on that. The closer we get to that, we'll be sending out communication, because obviously it's going to have to be done in portions. And so as certain portions are going to need to be closed for the repaving, there will be some rerouting in different ways to have to go around the community. So we will keep you all posted on that. Brandon wasn't able to be here this afternoon, so he asked that I mention that, and you'll see more communication coming out on that. Any other questions right now before I pass it along? We've got some more fun and exciting news, so I'm going to pass this off to Teresa. And I'm going to sanitize the microphone.
Which I appreciate. All right, well, hello everyone. It's hot. I'm Teresa Snook, Director of Administrative Services and Community Outreach. Nice to see so many of you here today. One of the things that that I am in charge of is taking care of our extraordinary impressions each month and reminding you each month to put in nominations. This last month we only had 4, so I just kind of reminding you again to put those nominations in. So our Going the Extra Mile award is what we give to our employees each month. We have 2 people that are presented with this award. They get a $50 gift card to some local place that they want to go to with a friend or whatnot. They get a close parking space. They get a pin. They get a certificate from Betsy, and then they get to have everybody see their face in several places around the community, and this is one of them. So for August, our winners are Mallory Snyder. Most of you know Mallory. She is Reagan's assistant / coordinator. She was nominated by a fellow team member, Mary Schatz, who works in our environmental services group. She credited Mallory with saving her from having a major health crisis. Mary's blood pressure was very high, and Mallory checked it twice for her and then told Mary she needed to go to the ER immediately. By the time Mary got there, her blood pressure was even higher than what it had been here. And Mary said that Mallory was very respectful, took time to help her, and paid attention to detail. She said Mallory is awesome. And so we just want to thank Mallory for potentially saving a team member here. And I know she does the same for all of you. She treats you with respect and kindness. And most of you know Casey. Casey's one of our drivers, and he was nominated by Gail Fitzpatrick Fox, one of our independent living residents, for graciously caring for her when she was ill. Casey drove Gail to an unscheduled doctor's appointment, and he ended up staying with her for 4 hours. He even clocked out during the time he was waiting because it wasn't something he was expected to do, to wait with her. Gail said that was above and beyond expectations, especially because Casey was supposed to go home early that day. She also noted that Casey was very patient, kind, and helpful during that time when she felt fragile and quite ill. So we want to thank Casey as well. So again, these are our hospitality promises. We go over these, either Ken or I, go over these with our new hires and with all of our current staff annually. And we have a little program that we go through. It's really exciting for me to be able to tell you that Life Care Services, who is the author of this, this program, this Extraordinary Impressions program, had a contest for all the Life Care Services communities throughout the United States. There are about 140. And Friendship Village was one of, I believe, 44 different communities that submitted nominations or information in order to win one of 4 different awards. So I'm going to show you right here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but we won in one category. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can. But we won for employee hospitality, and then we won second place for, where am I down here? Raising awareness. So I've got a couple of videos. Can we show those real quick? Oh, are they, sorry. So this is what, after we won the award, they asked us to put together a couple videos on, one on each item to kind of show what it is that we do and why we were chosen. So I'm gonna play the first one here.
purchase instead of a gift card to a shopping center or Amazon because we want our gems to get out and do something fun with a friend or a loved one, or just treat themselves. At the end of the year, one deserving winner receives an experience worth $500. One person chose a flight to an out-of-state wedding. Another had a me day, complete with hair, nails, and shopping. The great thing is, they get to choose their prize. We appreciate LCS and the Extraordinary Impressions program, and we want to thank the steering committee for selecting Friendship Village Kalamazoo as the Employee Hospitality Best Practices Champion for 2022.
So these are our awards. Oh, no. All right. All right. So we got a first place and we got a second place. And these are going to eventually go down the hallway near our break room along with some different highlights of each of our promises. Each of our staff members is going to get a t-shirt. Says "We Are Extraordinary" on the back. And then they're all going to get a little tag to go by their name tag that says "Best of the Best 2022." So we're very proud of our accomplishment there. So. And thank all of you for making it work, because if you didn't put in your nominations, it wouldn't work. So thanks again.
Wow, that is tough to follow. So congratulations, Teresa, for spearheading that program and displaying what Friendship Village really is about. So I only have a few things, but I do want to add to the friendship and the hospitality that you all provide to the marketing department and how valuable that is. It's really a part of having that 95% occupancy is really due to the reputation that we've built over time. And those are conversations, one conversation at a time, welcoming, the welcoming committee for our new residents, all those little things that make a huge difference to new residents coming in have made all the difference in people making decisions to move into Friendship Village. And I'd like to share something that happened over the weekend that is a wonderful demonstration of staff and residents coming together and really creating wins for us. This weekend, I offered an apartment to someone and they really wanted to see it again over the weekend, and I was not in a position to come back. Truth be told, I was on the beach. And I could not make it back, get myself cleaned up in time to make it in. And so I reached out to the front desk, starting with Diane, and I said, hey, is there a way we can get these apartments opened up and have our security team show them around? And boy, that was really just the beginning of the experience that they were able to have on a Saturday afternoon at lunchtime. So they came in, and actually, Ahmad came in, Rick Butler, our new facility services manager, came in on his off duty to unlock the doors, to let them in, show them around. Diane was very kind and gracious, and a resident actually helped show them around while they were here and offered to show them how they had arranged their apartment. So there was a lot of hospitality from every single department, and we now have a sale. So thanks all to you. And it really does take a village. So we appreciate all those little moments because those add up to where we are today. All right, so that being said, we appreciate all of your referrals and kind words and all of those things, and we will make a drawing for the person, this monthly winner, for $100 off their monthly service fee or fund of their choice. And I'll draw just to keep from, keep infection control to a minimum. That's an honor, Kathy. Oh, well, Gail Fitzpatrick Fox, you are this one's winner. Wow, congratulations. You're on a roll. All right, so reach out to us, and then I just have one move-in that happened in August, and I do not see this person here. It is Judith Van Fleet. She moved in on the second floor in August. So many of you may have seen her already, so make sure you say hello. Is she here? Oh, hey, oh. I didn't see you back there, Judith, I'm sorry. Welcome aboard, Judith. All right, so she has some fun facts to share about herself, some good conversation starters. You may not know that she lived in Germany for 3 years, so you'll have to ask her about that experience. She worked as an art teacher for the Kalamazoo Christian Schools, and she has 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. So there you have it. Welcome aboard, Judith, and thanks everybody for your time. Have a great day.
Good afternoon. So I've only got a few things here for you. First, October 26th, save the date. It's a Wednesday. It's going to be just like a Sunday as far as meals are concerned. We're only going to do a lunch service. In lieu of that, at nights, partnering up with Allie and Ken and Nancy and Life Enrichment, we're going to be doing a night event. It's a murder mystery night. So if you're not familiar with what those are, it's going to be right here in the Kiva. It's going to be a nice meal. It'll be plated. There will be a charge. We're still working out those deals. But the theme for the evening is called Aces and 8 Balls. And you are invited to a night at the area's most notable and infamous speakeasy, the 8 Ball. Located in the basement of Lou's Pool Hall, your host, Johnny Manhattan, is waiting inside to show you a good time. But everything is not as it seems. Prepare for an evening of intrigue, lies, and deception as you try to unravel all the clues and solve a case of murder. All the while enjoying dinner with friends, loved ones, and hey, why does that waiter have a gun? So it should be a fun night. We're going to try something a little bit different. We're working out the details on the fee. It'll be somewhere between $20 and $30. And I think Allie's actually working on some communication for that. You will get an invitation that's going to say, yes, I'm going, no, I'm not going, I'll have lunch as my meal for that day, or no, I'm not going, I'll skip my meal that day. So that's all coming. Keep an eye out for it. Other than that, I am working on right now it's at about 20 pages of, we're going to call it a dining manual. So all the questions related to dining, how do I order delivery, from what can I take, what can't I take out of the dining room, all those policies will be in one place. Who do I call for billing issues? Everything should be in this one manual. So that's coming soon as well. I've been getting a lot of questions about policies, so I figured it's time to do that. And then lastly, let's talk turkey for a second. So, I'm thinking we will have turkey for Thanksgiving. It's going to be tight, so they're saying that there's a large stockpile of deep frozen turkeys that are still out there. So, we should still have turkey for Thanksgiving. So thank you for your patience. If you're a turkey lover, I apologize. As soon as we can have turkey on the regular again, we will have it. So, any other questions for me? I know turkey was a hot topic. That's all I've got. Thank you.
All right. I think that's it for our agenda, unless we have any additional questions. Wow. Oh, one question.
I don't have a question, it's about the masks. I just wanted to mention wearing your mask over your nose. If you wear it under your nose, they say you might as well not wear them.
That's right, that's right. So her comment was, if you are wearing your mask, when you are wearing your mask, make sure it's over your nose, like this. If you're not wearing it over your nose, it's like you're not wearing one at all. So make sure that when you are wearing it, that it's over your nose, and then there's usually a little pincher on some of them if they're the disposables. Do you have something more? Oh. Oh, I'm sorry, Barbara. Come on up. Barbara Toshales has a show to put on.
She's gonna come up and explain interplay for you guys.
Oh my goodness, thank you. I won't take up a lot of your time, but I am just so excited to invite you, all of you, to join us for Interplay. We meet once a month, the last Saturday of the month, in the fitness center from 2:30 to 4. And I do have, can I stand back here so I don't? Absolutely. And then you, yeah, okay. And Sandy is here to support me. Martha Beverly is also a frequent player. And let me just give you some reasons why we love Interplay and why it's so good for people to join. Now, this is a process that's been around over 25 years. It's in 5 continents, 30, and it's been going for 30 years, but it's also in 50 cities in this country, as well as around the world. I've been doing it for about 20 years, and I loved it so much, it kind of saved my soul, really. I could tell you some tales about the healing and the fun that I have had in the last 20 years. Excuse me. So what the purposes of Interplay are to increase peacefulness, to replace stress with grace, to access the wisdom that we carry in what we call body spirits. So we don't separate your brain. Whoops, I better keep this close. We don't separate who you are with head and body. We see you and ourselves as one being, and we want to play with you. We want to connect to you. So that's another reason for Interplay, is to connect with residents here. And occasionally people from outside the community will come and join us, which makes it a lot of fun. It, for me and for many, just creates a greater ease in being who you are and telling stories. So we use movement, voice, story, and stillness. Now, stillness is not the same as meditation, but it has the same effect. It's being calm, quiet. We don't have to be talking all the time or listening. And it has been a great boon to my health, actually, over these 20 years. Right, Jerry? Yes. He knows. I have found my tribe, and he won't join, but that's another story. You know, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So anyway, that's all right. But with Sammy and with Martha, I would like you to come up and attest to what difference Interplay has made for you. Would you like to say something, or do you want me to quote you from previous? Okay. Martha said, during Interplay, actually I should do that, sorry. During Interplay, Barbara guides us toward releasing our own inner child to move, babble, and enjoy ourselves and each other together in quiet fun. Come and play with us. Though I have to admit, sometimes we get loud. It's not always quiet. Sammy, what do you, Sammy Nutter, Martha Beverly. I didn't introduce myself, but I'm Barbara Toshalis. And what would you say about interplay?
Once again, I was not given a choice like Martha was. I was told to come and speak, so I've got to put my glasses on. I used to be able to memorize my talks or just do it off the cuff. I can't do that anymore. I am aware that this body of mine sometimes keeps me from reaching the spiritual levels that I like to be at. I walk around with my heart wide open, which makes me quite vulnerable. It also affords me the capacity, though, to reach very ethereal, spiritual, and joyous levels, and that's who I want to be. Interplay helps to free me from my body and helps me to heal my body. It increases my energy and my enthusiasm. It allows me to grow and learn. Every day is a new and joyous adventure for me.
Thank you very much. And we're going to demonstrate a couple of things in a minute, but I want to read one more thing about interplay. Interplay is multicultural, intergenerational, gender empowering, and interfaith. We play with our own unique ethnicity, spirituality, geography, learning styles, sexuality, economics, gifts, and challenges. Oh, by the way, it's free. You can come and you don't have to pay anything. Bring water, though. That's important. We dance with those who are different, side by side, one at a time, walking, stopping, and running if you can. We sing, dance, babble, shout, and tell our stories to applauding witnesses. Now, before we demonstrate, I want to let you know that anybody can come as long as you can hear. You can stay in your chair for the whole session and be a witness. You are still part of us. So no matter what abilities you have, you are welcome. And that's something that I think is extremely important about interplay all over the world. All right, now what I want us to demonstrate, do you want to do this with us?
I want to tell them, you are observing us. This is unique. This is all based on non-judgmental behavior. Leave that one at the door, please. When you come to interplay, you're going to loosen up and just have fun. So please pull down the shade of judgment and let us do our thing.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm going to come around here.
I'm terrified.
All right, how about if you're on one side and you're on the other side, right? And this is a form, we call it, something we do sometimes, which is I can talk about. Now, we're not going to talk about anything, but we're just going to go back and forth about what we could talk about if we had the time and permission. All right, so I can talk about dogs. I can talk about cats.
I can talk about dizziness.
I can talk about dancing, and I can talk about being still.
I can talk about dreaming.
I can talk about trees, and frogs,
And icicles.
and ice cream, suckers,
And cats.
and clocks. And what? Clocks. Time, time passes, whatever that song was. Yeah. and clouds.
Oh, yes, clouds. So, we're going to do one more thing, but that is it. Now, we may go on further if we are actually at an interplay session, and you could pick one of those, or your friend could pick one of them that you mentioned, and then you get to just chat about it. You just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk until you feel like talking, or until the leader of the event rings her chime, and then you have to stop immediately, or there are consequences. Not really. Not really. So this other one is the hand dance. Yes. Do you want to do this with us? Okay. Allie, are you ready?
So this is not choreographed. We are just going to be spontaneous as we listen to this music. And you can use one hand or both.
And you can all join in if you'd like.
You may.
Any questions? We will meet Saturday, the 24th, 2:30 to 4 in the fitness center.
It's always the fourth Saturday.
Fourth Saturday.
Fourth Saturday.
Fourth. Say what?
He wanted your name. It's Barbara Toshalis. She's the one that leads the group, is Barbara Toshalis.
Come join us.
All right.
Look out for Sandy, she's recruiting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, I feel really relaxed after that. Anything else anyone wants to bring up today, or any questions? Barbara, I have your mask.
Oh, yeah. I've often said it's a good thing my head is attached. Otherwise.
All right, thanks everybody for coming this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Remember to grab punch and cookies on your way out.
That's right, and welcome our new resident.